Welcome to Cape Ann Report. I'm your host, Maureen Aylward. Cape Ann Report is a weekly program that covers events and things that are happening in the region. And for this show, I'm speaking with Sarah Kelly and Sue Koehler-Arsenault about, I said your name wrong, about the Rockport Cultural District and Rockport Exchange. Sue and Sarah, thank you for being with me. I'm sorry to mispronounce your name, which is no matter how much I practice. And that's that. Welcome to the show. You have a lot going on, as always. I love talking about what's happening in Rockport. And let's start with the Cultural District. It's been around for 5 years.
Yeah, so the Rockport Cultural District was one of the first 5 cultural districts to be designated in the Commonwealth. And we have just come up on our anniversary of designation. We've received the enthusiastic report of the support of the selectmen, and we're actually voted some money at Rockport Town Meeting to continue our work, which has felt like a watershed moment for us.
Wonderful.
We are striving to bring more visitors to enjoy the magnificence of Rockport and the rest of Cape Ann. And so now we have a little money, hopefully, that we can use for advertising and promotion off-island to bring people here to events like Sarah's fabulous Motif #1 day next weekend.
And that's happening. Is the poster out? Because that's a kind of a famous thing.
That's right. And actually, there's a little bit of synergy here because Sue's husband is an artist, and every year we feature an artist on the poster, and he just is the artist for this year's poster, so that's kind of nice.
Fantastic. And what's his name?
I didn't pay her off, I promise.
What's his name? Let's give him credit.
Arsenault.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of a fun thing, and then people are collecting the posters year after year, so there's a lot of excitement about what's this year's poster going to be, so that's fun.
So this is a big event in Rockport every year. And
It really opens our summer season. People look forward to it as the time that things really start happening in town.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this is our season, right? I've been watching the cars go down the street and thinking traffic is starting, so it must be happening.
Yeah. I was in Rockport yesterday, and I noticed definite uptick in people. So that's sure a sign.
So the Cultural District is sort of an umbrella. Explain how this works, because there's a lot going on in Rockport with the Exchange and then some other groups. How is it working?
So the district is a designation, basically, of downtown Rockport. And so anything that happens related to arts and culture, whether it's an art opening, and for example, iArt Colony has an opening this Saturday, their show Koan. They will have a reception beginning at 5 o'clock. And so anything that happens in the district is part of our umbrella organization. We have really tried over the last few years to build up the relationships between the galleries, the merchants, Rockport Music, Rockport Art, the festivals, the town, the chamber, getting everybody around the table together to see how we can work in a more unified way, both to get the message out off island that Rockport's a great place to come, but also to work together and build our events in an organic way.
So that's happening now more than
it
ever has been before.
Yeah, I would say absolutely, definitely. And it's kind of, as Sue mentioned, the Cultural District sort of ties it together, because whatever your business is or your work as an artist, you have that shared interest because you work and live in this place.
Yeah. And I think we're seeing it in Rockport, and successfully, based on the farmers market, and that's an exchange program, and Harvest Festival that's in the fall, another exchange program. What else is happening within that space?
Illuminations has been a huge success.
Illuminations, Rockport New Year's Eve, Christmas in Rockport, Rockport Garden Club Art and Bloom. One of the great things that the Chamber has done for us in the last 2 years is on the Rockport map, there's now a list of the events for the whole year. And so we often will use that off-island to try to encourage people to come on to the events that are happening all the time. One of the things the district does is each week we publish a flyer called This Week in Rockport, and it has all the arts and culture events. It goes out on Thursdays, and so if anyone who's watching this would like to receive that in their inbox, they can simply email rockportculturaldistrict@gmail.com, and we will be happy to send you this listing. So, for example, this weekend we have a farmer's market, we have the art opening of Koan, Rockport Music has, I think, 4 different events going on this week. So it's a one-page flyer that really tells you everything you want to know about arts and culture in Rockport.
Old Sloop Coffee House
Old
this
Sloop
weekend.
Coffee House is this weekend too. Yeah, it's, in fact, there were so many events.
It's kind of mind-boggling.
It is
for
a
a town,
tiny, yeah.
right? A town,
Of that size,
of that
about
size,
7,000 people year-round.
That's right. There was so much going on this coming week. I actually had to change the font on the flyer to get it all in. So that
It's
tells
a 9-point weekend.
It tells you that it's a
9-point
lot
font.
is happening.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
So something I wanted to talk about, because Rockport is this small town with a distinct downtown, and I feel like one of the things that has really happened with Motif #1 or Motive #1 Day, and some of the other programs like the farmers market, is that there's gathering places. And so, Sarah, could you talk about this this placemaking, this place and space for the community to come together? Because I think that's really important. We have Dog Square, we've got Bearskin Neck, we have the transfer station.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, but
Right.
there's no real space for
Exactly.
people to join in.
And I think that is a problem that Rockport Exchange has identified, and working with other organizations to see that as sort of a difficulty in Rockport. As beautiful as it is, we don't see each other very much unless we're at the transfer station, aka the dump, because we lost a grocery store, and a grocery
Right.
store is a natural
Truly.
spot where you intersect with people, and we don't have that. People don't go to the post office as much. They're generally in their houses more. Where are we going to see our neighbors? And I think that has been an issue in Rockport, this sort of a hidden factor maybe, and difficulty in coming together and having these conversations that Sue mentioned that the district is helping encourage. So I noticed, and the people working at the farmers market, we have a great group of volunteers with Rockport Exchange, had noticed that people hung out. They would have their transaction, but they gathered in the center, so we provided tables and chairs, and that's been a really neat thing that has developed with the market that is sort of a secondary benefit. So I think the next thing Rockport Exchange will look at, in collaboration with the town and other groups, is how can we have more deliberate placemaking opportunities. Placemaking is sort of a buzzword that you mentioned. Dock Square as an incredible place in this heart of the town. That how can we utilize the island and Dock Square more to encourage, seeing your neighbors, hanging out a little bit, instead of just, dashing through town and complaining because you can't find a parking space, which is, standard Rockport resident,
Complaint.
Feeling. Yes, exactly, at this point. And how can we sort of turn that conversation a little bit around? So yeah, things that we're looking at have very much to do with placemaking.
And that's one of the terrific things that's happening, because the town, Rockport Exchange, the district, that we're all coming together. In our 5-year plan for the district, we really do want to identify developing placemaking. And so whether it's something that happens in Dock Square, or utilizing other spaces in town to try to, access community preservation funds that the state has, looking at how we can draw grant monies into the town to develop the spaces. That's something that we can work on together.
And it also draws people together in the economic heart of Rockport, which is so important to Rockport as being a small town, and the local merchants that can benefit from it. I mean, certainly there's the beach, right?
Right.
There are certain beaches, but that's very singular, solitary, and individual or family time, I think, too, which is different than all the things that you're talking about. I mean, it's really thrilling to come downtown during one of the events or during weekend programs and to see everybody down there, because the whole town comes out for these events.
One of the great things too about Rockport is we really do welcome the world. And beginning Memorial Day weekend, our free cultural district walking tours will start from Memorial Day through July 1st. They will be Saturdays at 10, Sundays at 1. Meeting at Dock Square, and the tour is about an hour to hour and 15 minutes. We found a lot of people who've recently moved here like to go on the tours. When people have guests coming, family members, they will go on the tours. But it's very likely that we'll have people from Germany and Sweden and Asia all coming together to go on this tour of Rockport.
What are you doing? Where are you? Hannah Jumper's house? Are you doing?
We do go up to Hannah Jumper's house. So the tour starts in Dock Square. We go behind the Firehouse Trust. Of course, we have to talk about the famous Motif and T Wharf and the start of Rockport. We cut through Harvey Park, and on Saturdays I give the tours. It's my favorite because there's so much activity going on there with the farmers market. We head up High Street, which is the old pasture road, the first road of Rockport. Across School Street, we stop at the Congo Church, head our way up to Main Street, talk about the treasure that our downtown is, stopping at Front Beach. I mean, it just kind of goes on and on. Then we head back into town and eventually get to the end of the jetty. But those tours are free, Saturdays and Sundays, starting Memorial Day through July 1st. And they're daily, 7 days a week, in July and August through Labor Day, and then weekends again through Harvest Fest.
That's amazing. So you can get a daily tour, and it's historically based, right?
Yes,
I
it is,
imagine,
yeah.
and that's really fun.
Yeah.
That's
And we are
fantastic.
looking, so for people who want to get involved, we are looking for 2 more tour guides. And also, I know Motive Number 1 Day, you guys are still looking for
We
volunteers
would
too.
love to have volunteers. All sorts of fun ways to get involved. If you want hands-on involvement, help with art activities. It's a very interactive festival. Or if you want to just maybe work behind a table and sell T-shirts, there's all sorts of ways for people to get involved. So we'd love to have that sort of help.
And there's also a zero waste component to your
Yes.
programs.
That's a huge factor, which I know
And you
is
need
a
people to
passion
also
of
help
yours.
with
Yeah,
that.
that's right. We definitely need a team. And what Sharon Kashida, who's leading that effort, and we're coordinating with the Rockport Public Schools, which we should say there's a 5K and a fun run component of this event, organized by a health and wellness committee at the public school. So they raise money for all sorts of cool things to happen at the school. That's a really neat community aspect of it. And so the school has a zero waste effort in relation to the race as well, because there can be a lot of waste with water bottles and cups. And so they're very conscious of that. And so it's really neat how it's all coming together. But I wanted to say that Sharon Kashida has mentioned she'd love to put together a coalition of like-minded people who care about waste and waste reduction to come together for these events and work on getting our waste reduced to zero. It'd be nice.
So one of the neat things too about Motive 1 Day, in terms of a collaboration with the district and Rockport Exchange, so one of the initiatives of the district has been to really try to revive the Rockport Art Colony. And a lot of the galleries have come together. We now have a new website, rockportartcolony.com. And on Motive 1 Day this year, there will be a paint out. So artists will be painting plein air around town. At 5 o'clock under the tent in Dock Square, they will be showing their work. Sounds like there will be some music.
It's going to be, and it's a great culmination because it's going to point everything in the entire day about art and about the motive back to the artists, the working artists in Rockport who are currently here. It's not just about the past. We have a current art scene, art colony.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So it'll kind of redirect all the attention, and people can come under the tent and meet artists. They'll come out of their galleries, bring their work with them, a sample of the work, and have a little music, a little food, and hopefully people will come out and get a chance to meet the artists.
And I want to also remind our viewers that there's a concert on May 21st.
Yes, thank you. So Rockport Music is sponsoring the Cape Ann Big Band with guests Nathan Seavey, Kiva Trumbore, Amy Rich, John Rockwell, and Mari Martin. Sunday, May 21st, 7 o'clock. It's going to be a fabulous show. The benefits go towards the Rockport Cultural District, and we are using that money again to try to tell our story out in the world to bring more people to Rockport.
Great.
To continue the good things here.
Sarah and Sue, thank you so much for being on Cape Ann Report. Please come down to Rockport for Motif number 1 or Motive number 1 Day. I love it. And make your way over to the concert on May 21st. That's it for this Cape Ann Report. Until the next time, take care.